Edmonton's mayor is taking the battle of provincial property taxes to the public, asking Edmontonians to write the government of Alberta to ask them to pay their fair share.
If province steps up and pay the money that is owed to Edmontonians, that's $80 million. That is equivalent to close to 4% property tax.
That comes as Edmonton City Council begins budget talks this month. Edmonton property owners could be looking at a potential 13% property tax hike to make up for city budget shortfalls. So he arguing the tax increase would be closer to 9% if the province paid their full share of property taxes, after the province cut how much they pay by 25% in 2019. If it feels like you've heard this story before, you have. So he moving the conversation from social media to a new website highlighting how much municipalities have lost since the province stopped paying property taxes. Unpaid municipal property taxes is something Mayor Sohi says 95% of other municipalities in the province are facing, and was brought up at the Premier at last week's meeting with municipal leaders in Red Deer.
I must tell you, I think they've got a very good point about us paying the full property tax rate on the buildings that we have in their communities. I'm still investigating a little bit about why that decision was made. I've raised it as a topic of conversation with my minister and my finance minister, and so we're going through the process now of seeing if that's something that we would be able to address.
In response to Sohi's new website, Alberta's Ministry of Municipal Affairs pointing to the $337 million over the next 2 years the province gives to the city of Edmonton through regular funding. Going on to say, quote, Budget 2024 is also supporting numerous capital projects in Edmonton, providing $2.2 billion over 3 years in road, transit, and bridge construction projects, and an additional $800 million over the next 3 years for health, school, and government facilities. But Edmonton's mayor says those grants in place of property taxes and provincial funding in the budget isn't enough to keep up with inflation and population growth. Adding, the city of Edmonton is being forced to take on more provincial responsibilities.
We have to step up to provide hygiene services during the Shingala breakout, and we have not been compensated by Alberta Health Services for that cost. And you hear me talk about how we are spending, how we would recover $28 million in fire services if province. Because we are responding to overdoses on our streets.
Reporting from Edmonton, Darcy Ropchan, City News.